This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, freaks? Yep. I got this, I was watching a Grady Judd video the other day on one of his cases, and then Zozo sent it to me again, and I was like, maybe the freaks want to watch that. And then a crazy cold case with a girl who got bit by a dog. Not much information on it. And then also Dylan Round's parents spoke, and I got permission from Nate Eaton to play it. So Nate Eaton said I could play the interview with Candace Cooley and Dylan's dad. And then after that, I thought I'd work on my, my own 3D model, because I'm trying to do I never had time during the trial to, I've worked on it a little bit here and there, but the actual crime scene in the Murdaugh case, I just want to make it where it's more reasonable. I'm trying to build it the right way. And maybe you guys can help out with measurements and look through videos and try to find, because I think the dog kennel, there's a measuring tape on it, but I can't find it really quickly. So if somebody wants to find out what the measurements are, because you see the measuring tape on it, how deep it is and how tall it is. I'm talking about the dog house, not the kennel. So that'd be cool. I don't know where Tina is. She commented in Discord, and she normally is the first one there, but I guess she didn't make it. But all right. And I don't know what the deal was, but last night in here was really I don't know. It wasn't the greatest show. I don't know what the deal was, but it just try to do what I used to do, old cold cases, and it just didn't happen. No, I don't mean the quail house. I'm talking about the dog house. What do you guys think about that? And I don't know, the dogs right now are sleeping in their where they normally sleep, but they were just playing a minute ago, so I don't know if you'll get to see them, but I think they're both, one of them's in there at least. Hey, thanks, Pepper Smith. Yeah, well, it's a new night, but starting off like the other ones. Alright, let's see. I think the first thing I'll do is it's a quick story on the 8-year-old, because all there was some old not even newspaper articles, but on the internet.
Thumbs up, hit that like button, thumbs up.
Yep. All right, so this is Allison Smith right here. Hey, all right. Thank you, Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. And thank you, Amber Maiden, beginning of the show wave. That'd be great. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I did hear back from Misty today.
Grey juice.
Misty Gillis, and she said that the Addison County is going to sequencing. It's like, oh my God, really? Addison County is going to sequencing right now. Let me read exactly what she wrote. Hold on. That's the one from 1934. That'd be amazing. She said, Vermont is on the sequencer. I mean, so it's literally, in the middle of being sequenced as we speak. So I guess we'll get to know if it created a sequence off of the DNA. Oh boy. There we go. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Dan. What is it? Hode maker? And what's a hode? Yeah, and for those who don't know the Addison County one, that's the one from Addison County, Vermont, from a 1934 newspaper articles. There was a mother and a child and another person presumed to be one of her children, because there was another young person, were found and unidentified, wrapped up in an awning and different things. And apparently they'd been there maybe a couple of years, so it might even be from 1932. And we want to try to identify them, and that might even lead to the killer, because there's nothing reported in the papers or anything like that missing. And then you want to see, like, where did the father, what happened to him? Did he continue on with his life and get married somewhere?
Basic generous, basic generous,
thank you, K-Me.
Basic generous.
All right, so this is the I'm not sure what to make of this case here. It's pretty weird. Allison Smith. And in here, so this is the same website. It's that there was no newspaper articles that I could find from them, but it says in April of 1986, in the Georgia town of Zebulon, 8-year-old Allison, or Zebulon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but 8-year-old Allison Renee Smith's body was found in a neighborhood yard mauled by 2 pit bulls. However, it would turn out the Georgia Bureau of Investigation would rule her death a homicide, and that she was killed before being attacked by the pit bulls. So she was mainly, more or less fed to the pit bulls. The neighbor of the mobile home where Allison was found was questioned but released after agreeing to undergo a polygraph examination. The neighbor denied killing Allison or being present during her murder. He reportedly stated, "I didn't do it. I wasn't there." According to a Facebook in memoriam posting, Allison may have also been assaulted by her killer. Yeah, so that's in that post there. I mean, how sick is that? She gets assaulted, killed, and then thrown to the pit bulls. This is an article from 2012 in Barnesville.com here. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. By Rachel McDaniel, the journal reporter, Zebulon. let's see. Allison Renee Smith 8 was killed in April 1986. The second grader's death was determined a homicide by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, but no charges were ever filed in the case and remains an open investigation 26 years later. Former Sheriff Billy Riggins was in office when the murder occurred. Pike County Sheriff Jimmy Thomas said he met the family shortly after he was elected as sheriff for the first time many years ago. The tragedy of the case affected the county significantly, and it has been an important case to me since I've been sheriff, said Sheriff Thomas. We've looked at it from many angles over the years. The incident occurred in 1986, and a lot has changed technologically regarding investigation. According to John Bankhead, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, although DNA is not processed as evidence in 1986 when the murder occurred, there is still a possibility it could be contained in articles held for evidence in the case, including the young girl's clothing. We didn't collect DNA for use as evidence until 1991. Typically, all evidence is retained in a homicide case until it is solved and closed. The GBI periodically reviews all open cases to see if some advancement in technology is available. Now that wasn't available to be used when the crime occurred. A lot of factors come into play to determine whether any DNA on articles of evidence can still be processed. I think I need to get everything's more blurry. I think I need to switch. I've been using like 1.5 and 1.75. Might be have to go to 2 because I've noticed I can't see as well. It's just kind of getting older. Worse eyes. Hey, thank you, Mama 457 Rose. Let's see. Despite years without any charges being filed, according to investigator Major David Neal, numerous interviews have been conducted and are on file, but he believes it would take just one person to share information that has not yet been brought to light. Somebody knows something about this case, and if they'd come forward and put it on the record, this case would be solved. The young girl was murdered April 6, 1986, and she was discovered in a dog pen where pit bulls had mangled her body. Pike County Coroner Charles Moody was present as an autopsy was performed at the State Crime Lab in Atlanta. He said pathologists determined she was beaten before the dogs attacked her, and she had been sexually abused before she died. Her mother said Renee left her home at about 11 a.m. that Sunday morning and rode her bike to visit a friend. Her body was discovered late that afternoon. It's my personal belief that any time a heinous crime is committed, there is unrest until it's solved. As we review the case, each and every time new facts and evidence are brought to light. We've built quite a significant file, said Sheriff Thomas. We've had several interviews that we've reviewed in this case, including the GBI interrogations and subsequent interviews that have been available and leads we've followed up. I'll always be an open case. It'll always be an open case until we're able to solve it or conclude it. The case occurred in 1986, and while this staff was not a part of the agency at the time, this case remains important to us. Protecting children is certainly a priority of importance to me personally and to this department. Man, I've never even heard of a case like that. It's ridiculous. And there's just one more. This is one from, this was archived newspaper, so I guess it's in there. An 8-year-old girl who was found in a neighborhood yard apparently was killed before she was mauled by 2 pit bulls. We don't have any real hard suspects, said Inspector Bonnie Pike of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. We have people we're looking at. She said that Charles Sewell, 34, owner of the mobile home where the body of Renee Smith was found Sunday, was questioned and released after agreeing to undergo a polygraph. I didn't do it. I wasn't there, Sewell said. Pike said investigators believe the child was dead before the dogs attacked her. GBI agent Charles Stone said investigators have ruled out accidental death. At this point, we don't think the death was an accident, he said. There are some circumstances surrounding the death that are unusual. Smith lived less than a mile from the Sewell's home in Pike County, 80 miles south of Atlanta, with her parents and stepbrother and younger sister. Denise Fletch said her daughter rode her bicycle to visit Sewell's stepson, Martin, at 11:30 a.m. That's interesting. So she wasn't just dumped in a random yard. She was actually going to the Sewell's residence. Wow, Doohickey. Jeez. Thank you. Damn. Says thanks again to all the amazing people here in the freaky community. You're all amazing. Yep, that they are. Ding, ding, ding. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again to all the amazing people here in the freaky community. Y'all are amazing. Romantic face.
Yeah, and if you guys want, I was going to say if you want notebooks or anything like that, if you send 25, you get one of the notebooks. See, everything helps support the channel, allows me to keep doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I donate over 50% of the net revenue because that's the part that makes it so this channel gets a ton done, actually makes a difference. I'm the person doing the shows, and I like to think that I do a good job, and like you guys like watching the show and everything like that, and that's why you support the channel. And so it's just sort of like it's just been really amazing how it's worked. We've given over $139,000 from the income from the channel since January 2020, and I think that's money I wish I had. I'm just kidding. I mean, don't you think that's amazing, though? I mean, when you think back, $139,000. That's ridiculous. Hey, thank you, Kathy Freidenmaker. Hey, look at that. It's 8675309. The real 8675309. Wow, thank you. Jesus, you guys. Thank you so much. Classical guitarist. Gotta put that in there. That's not a calculator, guys. It's cut and paste. A Lego project? Is it something you got paid to do? 8675309? I thought you were like doing a project for like a work thing. That's interesting. Hey, look at that. Well, if you win, I'll re-spend it. Okay, good. It's like, Gray, I'm busy. I've got a Lego project. Okay, I got a project. Okay, yeah. A Lego project. But thank you, classical guitarist. Yeah, if you want it, I'll send you whatever the prize if you randomly win. Yeah, the earlier one. Yeah, yesterday was just I was just kind of chilling out. Wanted to watch the Blazers play the Celtics and get their asses kicked, and then
I like the earlier start time.
I see. So in this case, it said the Pike said investigators believe the child was dead before the dogs attacked her. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Agent Charles Stone, said investigators have ruled out accidental death. At this point, we don't think the death was an accident. There are some circumstances surrounding the death that are unusual. Smith lived less than a mile from the Sewell home in Pike County. So it says right here, Denise Fletch said her daughter rode her bicycle to visit Sewell. So she said Charles Sewell, 34, owner of a mobile home where the body of Renee Smith was found Sunday. I mean, I don't know, man. Come on, GBI. This guy here or somebody at that house almost necessarily has to have something to do with it. And the reason is because she went to go visit the stepson at your house, and then she's killed, and then the pit bulls in the yard of, I don't know. Jeez, that just... Okay, so what you're saying is she was sexually assaulted. She went to visit the Sewells, and then she went and started walking home, and was a half mile from home or so, and all of a sudden she gets captured by somebody who assaults her and throws her on the ground, and these pit bulls randomly took the dog all the way back and put it in the yard of the Sewells. Come on. At this time, we don't think the death was an accident, he said. There are some circumstances surrounding the death that are unusual. Her daughter, Denise Fletch said her daughter rode her bicycle to visit Sewell's stepson, Martin, at 11:30. When the girl did not come home, a few hours later, the Fuchs went to look for her and discovered her bicycle outside the house, right where she was supposed to go. But no one was home. They returned home and repeatedly called Sewell throughout. Oh, wow. So nobody was home, meaning nobody answered the door, right? So she could have easily been in there, right? Then they returned home and repeatedly called Sewell throughout the day, and no one answered. If Renee had been in that yard, I would have seen her, Denise Fletch said. So they didn't see her daughter in the yard. That night, Sewell showed up with Smith's bicycle, saying he had not seen her all day because he was at his mother's house in nearby Griffin. Shortly after, Sewell returned and said he had found the girl's body in his backyard. God, man, does that make any sense to anybody? Outside the Lego conversation. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Thank you, Callie Gal 3. Yeah, that's wild. I didn't even read this one, so man. So Allison Smith is her name, 8 years old, 1986. She's going to go visit the stepson of a guy named Charles Sewell. So it must have been a younger kid. And then the parents went over there to see where she was, and nobody answered. So they left. And then later, Sewell shows up with the bike and says, "Hey, I haven't seen her all day." Oh, and then later finds her in the backyard, killed by pit bulls, but she had already been sexually assaulted and beat up. So she wouldn't have been able to go anywhere. I mean, what about the stepson? Somebody at that Sewell residence did something to her. No doubt about it. He just happened to pass the, quote, lie detector test. Yeah. Thank you, Carly S. Well, that's all I could find on this one, but man, you gotta admit that one, that's brutal. Poor thing. I mean, you'll never, in this one, it's been so long now, unless they retest. I mean, it was 2012 when they mentioned maybe testing the DNA again. Hopefully they try it again. And there she is right there. Isn't it weird how, like, some of these cases nobody's ever heard of or talks about, but here's one that, man, it's just makes, you know, just looking at her face makes me sad, angry and sad at the same time. Kind of a little April Tinsley-ish, you know, just same age, everything. Okay, so what was I going to do next? Let's do the Grady Judd press conference. This is off of the sheriff webpage. Let me turn it up.
We have a case that I think clearly indicates why this gang task force that we just put together with
Hey, thanks. 8675309. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Rolling on the floor laughing, but not laughing about this case. Yeah. Yeah.
all of the police departments.
Does it read it?
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, rolling on the floor laughing but not laughing about this case.
That read it pretty good.
Roger Handberg, our U.S. attorney, Brian Haas, our state attorney, who is just simply the very best. Our Ashley Moody, our attorney general, and ATF, FBI, FDLE. If this doesn't illustrate why we need to do what we're doing with this task force, I don't think anything does. Because as we said then, and I'm going to repeat often today, we're not going to allow kids to shoot kids, or kids to be shot, or people to be shot by kids. We're just not going to do that. Everyone is God's children, whether they are behaving or not, and they have a right to be safe.
Well, let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. I wonder if this is the one. Let me just make sure.
We started the investment, and Ashley Moody, our Attorney General, this gang task force, and ATF, FBI, FD.
Yeah, I think it's the same one. I just wanted to make sure. Huh.
ATF, FBI, FDLE. If this doesn't illustrate why we need to do what we're doing with this task force,
well, I like
don't
him to
think
be the
anything
Attorney
does.
General.
Because as we said then, and I'm going to repeat often today, we're not going to allow kids to shoot kids, or kids to be shot, or people to be shot by kids. We're just not going to do that. Everyone is God's children, whether they are behaving or not, and they have a right to be safe. I'm going to introduce you to a victim. As you know, Marcy's Law doesn't allow us to give victims' names unless there is an agreement. Well, the victim's mother wants us to use his name and to even talk about his history because she is so passionate about trying to stop this from occurring to any other mother's child. The victim's John McGee. He's 33 years of age. Now, he is an adult by every sense of the word, but he's still his mama's baby. He's still her child. She admits readily that he has misbehaved throughout life and that he has conducted himself in a manner that she does not approve of. And she's told him that. He's known as Bang Bang. That should give you an idea of who our victim is. And he's a known gang member. I want you to understand that he was released from prison on October the 8th. October the 8th, he was released from prison where he did 4 or 5 years. He's a troublemaker, make no mistake about it, but he shouldn't have died. But on December the 17th, just more than 2 months after he was released from prison, he was shot in the back. He was shot. He was on Pirates Way, and that's in Secret Cove off of Skyview.
You guys forgot about Ron Pexa, okay?
And
could have been Ron Pexa.
What we know.
Ron
when
Pexa!
He was originally shot, went to the hospital, he was expected to recover. We started the investigation. And as the investigation went on, 24 days later, he died in the hospital. Now, some of you may say, well, what kind of hospital care was that? They were giving him the best hospital care. But as he started to get better, he refused to take the medicine that they said he had to have in order for his body to heal. Now, during this period of time, we're talking with him
Woodward Stone,
because we're trying to determine who shot him. He would not cooperate. What little bit he said, he lied to us, and he lied to us, and then he refused to take his medicine. So we're up at the hospital now, not only as detectives, but trying to say, hey, dude, you have got to take your medicine. He was going to get well and go back and seek revenge on his own against this other opposing gang member. That's right. What we believe is he wanted to take care of it himself. He didn't want that gang member locked up, because if he was locked up, he couldn't get to him. So he begins to decline over this 24 days. And the sicker he got, the more he refused the medicine, the more we talked to him. He took to his death the person that shot him. But he shouldn't have been shot. Why was he shot? Well, it was an opposing gang.
I'll be back if you want me to.
Going to get more rain tonight and tomorrow. You've heard it never rains in Southern California. Flushed face.
Member, I call it.
Yes, it does.
A testosterone overload. He was mean mugging. He was bad eyeing the other gang members. And as a result, the event occurred. Well, who shot him? Interestingly enough, I'm going to spend a few minutes on this because
but it looks dark.
this illustrates the problem. This is Ladarian Chandler. Ladarian is 19 years of age. He's a self-proclaimed rapper. And he shot John McGee in the back as he ran away. And then he made a rap video about it. Now, first
Did you hear what I said?
Come on, man. You shoot someone else in the back? What kind of coward is that? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
But that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So before I go further, other than to tell you there was an argument in the street, he shot him in the back, let me tell you about Ladarian Chandler. He was on juvenile probation even though he was 19 years old.
He's got some crazy crime in his county.
She said, Grady Judd is a hell of a sheriff. He's got some crazy crime in his county. Yeah, but I like the way, it's mainly the way he does it. calls everything out. He tells you exactly what's going on. The public isn't really left in the dark ever, really.
Previously had 7 felony arrests, 5 misdemeanor arrests, everything from resisting to theft to vehicle theft. He was just a mess. But here's a picture of him. I want you to see this picture. This is when he was 18 years of age. And this was after he was released from a high-risk facility where he spent 1 year in jail. But let's go back. When was his first arrest? When he was 11. Then he was arrested when he was 13, 14, 15, and 15, and 17. The Department of Juvenile Justice, who I often say has a difficult time telling a child the difference in a child committing childish acts that are criminal and a hardcore criminal as a juvenile. This was a hardcore criminal as a juvenile, but to DJJ's credit, they had him in detention, incarcerated on 3 different occasions. The first time for 1 month, that didn't do any good. The second time for 2 months, that didn't do any good. The third time for 12 months. That didn't do any good. This photograph was taken within a day or 2 or a week after he was released from his 3rd stint in lockup. He never learned. Not only that, 32 days later, after this photo, that's when he shot John McGee. 32 days later. Did I mention that this bad-looking dude, and he was bad and mean in the streets when he had a gun, because he would point it, he would threaten, he would shoot. This is only the times we know about. We don't know about the drive-bys and the shootings that never got reported to us.
He's not reading anything.
Because a lot of times they don't talk.
That's how he talks.
Most times they don't talk.
He just knows the case.
We don't know about all of those times. But what we know is despite the juvenile justice system effort to the contrary,
he might have bullet points.
This is what he looked like the week after he was released, and 32 days later he shoots John McGee, who subsequently dies. Now, let me give you some background. We're doing our investigation. We find out that he has made this rap video. I got to tell you what. He's not much of a rapper. My rapper expert tells me he doesn't sing well. He doesn't move well. You know, he's just a terrible rapper. But he's a stupid rapper because, you know, he not only makes him a rap video about shooting somebody, he admits shooting the guy in the back. This guy may be like the dumbest person on the face of the earth. I'm a coward rapper. That's what I am. If you don't believe me, watch me shoot the guy in the back. What is that all about? I got lots of stuff I could talk about that. But, you know, my rapper expert is one of my detectives who loves rap music, and he's into it, and he self-proclaimed, kind of like the rapper, that this was one of the worst rappers he's ever listened to in his entire life. So we investigate further, and nobody in the neighborhood knows anything. You go to one of these scenes, you know, there's 200 people in the parking lot, and you talk to them all, and they all just got out of the bathroom. I was in the bathroom when that happened. You know, 200 people in 20 bathrooms. It's crowded, but that's where they are. But we started making arrests. And as we started making arrests, we even arrested a mama along the way. As we started arresting people, when we got mama arrested, When we started back in there for another wave of arrests, they went, we'll talk to you. So people started loosening up. My homicide detectives are simply the very best, and they started to give us information. Now,
I gotta hear this part.
you go to one of these scenes.
I gotta hear that, what that lady said. I was listening.
Plain, kind of like the rapper. What is that all about? I got lots of stuff I could talk. Terrible rapper. But he's... Now,
I just want to hear that part again about the terrible...
let me give you some background.
Somebody actually interrupted him to say, what do you mean? He's... Well,
We're doing our investigation. We find out that he has made this rap video. I got to tell you what. He's not much of a rapper. My rapper expert tells me he doesn't sing well, he doesn't move well. You know, he's just a terrible rapper. But he's a stupid rapper because, you know, he not only makes him a rap video about shooting somebody, he admits shooting the guy in the back. I'm a coward rapper. That's what I am. If you don't believe me, watch me shoot the guy in the back. What is that all about? I got lots of stuff I could talk about that. But, you know, my rapper expert is some of my detective, one of my detectives who loves rap music, and he's into it, and he self-proclaimed, kind of like the rapper, that this was one of the worst rappers he's ever listened to in his entire life.
That's so good.
So we investigate further, and nobody in the
Is he
neighborhood
talking
knows
about me,
anything.
Gray?
He could be talking about you, Mary Lou.
You go out, you go to one of these scenes, you know, there's 200 people in the parking lot, and you talk to them all, and they all just got out of the bathroom. I was in the bathroom when that happened. You know, 200 people in 20 bathrooms. It's crowded, but that's where they are. But we started making arrests. And as we started making arrests, we even arrested a mama along the way. As we started arresting people, when we got mama arrested, when we started back in there for another wave of arrests, they went, we'll talk to you. So people started loosening up. My homicide detectives are simply the very best, and they started to give us information. Now, follow me here. This shooting occurred on, December 17th. He dies about a month later. It takes us 2.5 months to build the criminal case. But just after, while we're doing this, he pulls a gun on another guy in Secret Cove, Pirates Way, the same street, just a little ways over. Fortunately for us, because we didn't have a case, wasn't even real sure, because there were several people around, who the trigger man was at that point. Fortunately, he didn't kill that guy. But patrol arrested him for that case and put him in jail. So he was easy for us to find when we wanted to serve the first-degree murder warrants on him. When we served the first-degree murder warrants on him, he wanted to be bad. I'm a bad man. He is, and he's legitimately bad when he's got a gun, but I'm a bad man. I'm not talking to you. I'm not cooperating. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're bluffing me. You know, you ain't charging me with nothing. You don't have anything. Well, when we laid that first-degree murder warrant on him, subsequent to that, he started crying like a baby that lost his pacifier. And ostensibly his gun was his pacifier. He bragged that he carried a gun all the time and he would shoot his rivals. Now, he didn't call them rivals, but you'll have to listen to the video and add your own words because we've blanked out some inappropriate.
Thanks, Quietly Frozen. Reminds me of, can't remember, I forgot her name. It's been so long since she was here. She used to always use that same lemon emoji.
Just got my mama too. Thanks, freaks.
Words that he used. But now he's charged with first-degree murder. So I ask you this. He had to be cool.
Yeah,
he had to make his rap videos.
Dario Caspian
He
and
sent
Horses
this
Rock.
out for other kids to see.
That's what it was.
And that's what's happening in this rap world today.
Why are you worried about Tina? She was in Discord about 4 minutes before the show started.
That's why we have these drive-by shootings. That's why we have these kids ganging up in their individual gangs. Then they don't talk to us because they're going to go back and revenge the conduct themselves. While this shooting's taking place and we're dealing with this, and there's a shooting in Lakeland where 11 are shot, and we're dealing with one in Lake Wells where a 12 and a 14-year-old and a 19-year-old girls are shot in two different houses asleep in the middle of the night, and one gangster shoots and kills another gangster in Poinciana. You go, my gosh, what's the matter here? Despite that, our crime's at a 51-year low. Despite that, our violent crime went down last year. So what I'm saying is this does not represent the overall crime picture. This represents a very violent, dangerous group, small group of gangsters that are shooting at each other, and they're young. So look at this kid. He's 19. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. And I want all you cool dudes to think about this. While you're watching your gangster rap and you're looking for a stolen gun and you're shooting at your buddies and your buddy's house and your buddy's car, when you're shooting, this guy thought he was going to be you, or you're going to be him, and now he's going to prison for the rest of his life upon conviction. Plus his other aggravated assault charge in possession of a firearm by a convicted juvenile. He's not even supposed to have a gun at all. So he wants this to be the image. And truly, folks,
This guy,
you understand why people would not testify against him in court. You understand why witnesses didn't want to come forward, because he carried a gun and he would shoot you.
Yeah, he's
and
not
cared less.
somebody that had a chance to be better.
We've not recovered the firearm for the shooting. We like to tell folks, hey, we'll pay $500 for a felon with a firearm. Call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-226-TIPS. But we want the gun.
I don't know. I don't think the word tragic is the right word. You know,
that's being pushed around. We know it's being pushed around.
He sounds like a psycho. You know?
We want the gun that killed John McGee. Now, you're going, hey, how likely am I to give you the gun? I'm a convicted felon. Because that's who I'm sure has the gun. Well, it's easy. You call Crime Stoppers. And we will arrange a way to get the gun so that you don't get involved and you make $5,000 for the murder gun. That's right. I'll pay $5,000 for the murder gun. And I don't care who the gangster is holding it or who the mama is holding it.
To there in the
Get it out of the attic.
I'm not a gangster.
Get it out from under the tree. Get it out from under the bed. Get your $5,000. All we want is to put our hands on the gun. And we'll take it from there. No questions asked. You don't have to get involved. And any other gangsters, felons with guns, you call in, we take them off. In our first week of operation with the gang task force, We got 4 guns off the street.
Yeah, well, he's a psycho.
2 of
Colleen.
them are in the
People
computer
like
is
that,
stolen.
yeah.
I know the other 2 are stolen. We're just having to trace them from their origin because people didn't.
I mean, a tragic thing is when somebody like is aspiring to be somebody, and they die in a car accident, or somebody who's murdered, who's a high achiever and was really going to go places in life, and gets murdered before they got to do anything. It's not a tragedy when a 19-year-old psycho who runs around and thinks it's really cool and shoots up people and kills people gets arrested or anything. I mean, I don't feel any empathy or sympathy of any kind for people like that at all. Now, you might feel that way if they had just been raised in a different way and they were just, well, I don't know. I think sometimes they're just bad people out there, you know, regardless.
Have the serial number.
It's choices
when
people make.
It was reported to us.
And it's not the only choice
but
they
let
have.
the message be loud.
I can just tell you right now, if anybody that really wants to do something and can find a way to do it, right? But if you don't want to do it, then you're just not going to do it.
Clear. And all you gangbangers and gangsters and cool dudes and dudettes, understand.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We ripped this rapper, and he's in the jail.
Yeah, probably right when the
We
second you're
unwrapped
born,
him from coolness
you might have potential.
and wrapped him up in a jail cell. And I don't know how you put that in the rap video, but if you do, send me a copy. And then verse 2, you're next, dude. You're next. Because we're not going to let you kill people, and we're not going to let people kill you because we care about your life. That's a guarantee. So with that, let's look at the rap song, and we'll make this available to you. But you can see him.
Tried to run, I ate his back. Glock shoot like a map. Third ass in,
He sucks.
knowing where to find me at.
He does suck, right?
Guns.
I think so,
All
too.
guns.
God, I mean, he was just trying to
Play
make the
that
words
again.
fit.
Tried to run, I ate his back. Glock shoot like a map. Third ass in, knowing where to find me at.
Wow. That's not even Sugar Hill Gang level.
Bragging about it. Any questions?
So the evidence you have against Chandler from this news release is the fact that there's parts of that rap video that weren't publicly known.
That's part of the video. At the time he made that video, only the shooter would have known he shot the guy in the back. And we have lots of other evidence that we're not revealing here today.
And then another question, just it strikes me that the victim had a mother who cared about him, didn't want him in that life anymore, and we have this 19-year-old kid who's young. You know, how does the gang task force try to get young people, young kids, not to go into this?
Listen,
life?
that's a bunch of hooey.
Yeah. I
That
see.
soft and
Yeah.
cuddly feeling. We're going to hug a thug.
I haven't even heard this, okay? And so you can see, I mean, I always liked Grady Judd because I feel like I think the way he does about everything. And I think I'm sort of like him. I just say what I think. And so right now, there's ladies going to be talking about, oh, he, poor guy, you know, the mom and everything. And I don't know what he's going to say, but let's see
Any
what he
questions?
says.
So the evidence you have against Chandler from this news release is the fact that there's parts of that rap video that weren't publicly known.
That's part of the video. At the time he made that video, only the shooter would have known he shot the guy in the back. And we have lots of other evidence that we're not revealing here today.
And then another question, just it strikes me that the victim had a mother who cared about him, didn't want him in that life anymore, and we have this 19-year-old kid who's young. You know, how does the gang task force try to get young people, young kids, not to go into this?
Listen,
life?
that's a bunch of hooey. That soft and cuddly feeling. We're going to hug a thug, and if we give them, you know, another
Hug a thug.
popsicle and an icy and a day out at the park, they're going to be good. Y'all need to wake up.
Yeah.
These dudes
Exactly.
are taking y'all for fools. These are hardcore gangsters, gangbangers. they'll eat your ice cream on Saturday and shoot up the rivals on Saturday night and smile at you in the meantime. So at the end of the day, it all starts with parenting at home when they're young and keeping them away from this lifestyle. But
Hey,
when,
thanks again,
when
David.
we're having these neighborhood events for these 15, 16, 17-year-old hardcore gangbangers,
Yeah.
they're smiling at you in the daytime and going up and dressing like this at night. He was still on probation. He did a shooting after the curfew.
Hey, thanks, Scout Dude, and thanks for the gift and the letter you sent. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Chewbacca?
Or the
Oh,
envelope.
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Was over.
Find Gray the true crime freak to a label before that wrap up.
How much good did that do? They're not this kind of person. I'm not talking about everybody. This kind of person is paying no attention because they want to be cool, they want to be rappers, they want to be a power player in their community. So I tell everyone, you got the little bitty dudes and dudettes at 4 and 5 and 6, don't let them watch this crap.
No, a lot of times they're good parents. The thing is, there's all kinds of opportunities in schools. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think education is where the problem is in the United States. You know, the concept, no child left behind, sounds great and everything. You just have to make that a reality. You know, you have to make it so that every single student going to school has every chance of being able to choose to do something else. And then there's people, likely like this guy right here, that would have chose to be exactly what he is right now. Thanks, Don G.
Because that appears to be cool. It's not cool.
I want to hear your thoughts on DJJ reform. You know, last week we were talking about Orange County, several people shot and killed one of those, a news reporter, and the conversation came up of needed change in that area. This seems to tie in as well.
Well, first and foremost, you know, DJJ is an easy target, okay? So everybody piles on DJJ. And I've piled on them too. Because you have this wave of people, and I call this wave of people of community, I call them do-gooders, because they really mean well, their heart's in the right place, and they just think if we hug them closer, that's going to make everything better and all this will go away. Well, if that were so, because we are hugging these people, this kid got the full measure of the system. We also have the ability to put them in adult system. But when you look at all of his crimes, they weren't all gun crimes. They were theft and grand theft and fleeing and not your greater level stuff. But he was a scary guy on the street. But as I've said before, what we have to do is we have to be very forgiving of children committing acts that are of a criminal nature. Those are the ones that need the diversions and the counselings and the families reinforced. I'm not saying that does not work. But when they cross that border, then they have to be detained. If this guy is not locked up, he's shooting somebody. And that's what I'm talking about. So DJJ many times allows these very violent kids or very outlandish, out of control criminal kids. They don't all have to be violent crimes. They don't sometimes tell the difference between a child doing a childish act that's criminal and a hardcore criminal who happens to be under the age of 18. This was a hardcore criminal under the age of 18. But if you look, our state attorney is great about filing adult charges, but he just meandered through the system and never got above what should have been controllable. And the system with him detained him for 1 month, and then 2 months, and then 1 year. What would have happened if we'd had started out with a year program and then went to another year program and then went to another year program? You see, he might not have been out to commit this crime, because you can still be held under juvenile sanctions up until the age of 24. But now he gets out at 18. He does not have a high school education. He has no proclivity to work, because he's just going to do rap videos and sell dope on the street corner and run with the dudes and be cool. And now he's facing the rest of his life. Now, I can go back sociologically and say, well, what environment did he have when he was 2 and he 3 and he was 4 and he was 10 and he was 12? And I'm not saying that doesn't need to happen to try to stop it in advance. I'm not against that. But when he got to this level, he ain't eating no more ice cream with y'all. I'm just telling you. He's not
so that
eating
makes
any
sense,
more ice cream with you. But he's still a 19-year-old kid that now has taken a life. And that's why Mrs. McGee, or John McGee's mama, allowed us to use his name. She said, I don't want any more mamas to lose their children. And I'm appreciative of her. And I'm sorry for her. I'm sorry for this kid's mama. But she's thuggish too, if this is, or either the friend's mama's thuggish, I forget which one of them. But when you raise your kid, or don't raise your kid, the streets will raise your kid. But it'll be violent. You sure don't want to meet this kid. And they said he had a bad temper. He's got a bad temper. He's got a gun. He's 19 years old. And he'll shoot. And he says he'll shoot in his rap videos. And he tells the people in the neighborhood he'll shoot. Now, he's not the only one out there. That's why we got this gang task force. Is it a large population of people? Not yet, and we're not going to let it get that way. But the reality of it is,
yeah, you'll turn into Mexico at that point if you allow it.
This guy should not be in a position to have to be in jail for the rest of his life. But I guarantee you this, you let him out, he's going to get him a gun the next week and take pictures of himself and post it while he's on probation. Then he's going to go out after curfew. Anything else? I think I've clearly communicated the problem here. And I hope to the gangsters I've clearly communicated our answer. So if you're smart, you go get you some ice cream on Saturday when they want to give you ice cream, and you won't thug up and start shooting people Saturday night. Thank you very much.
Brady Judd, the legend.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yeah, it's just such a crazy. That's why you just need more law enforcement. Yeah, and that's why I've said. See, I know everybody thinks like when it was in New York, the whole stop and frisk thing was so shitty. But it actually made a huge difference. Isn't that weird? How it made a massive difference. Like just anybody can go up and go, hey, and they, and you get rid of guns, and it drops the crime rate down dramatically. But we're past that now, everybody. We just have to hope to God somebody doesn't have a gun on them. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the in Mexico, those individuals that were kidnapped, the cartel that kidnapped him, they didn't really kidnap him, they shot him, and then they threw him onto they were just going to drive him away. Oh my God, they turned out to be Americans, so it's called kidnapping, but it was really just loading bodies up onto a truck. 2 dead and 2 live, but they apologized for. The cartel apologized, and then they actually like took the 5 people responsible and handcuffed them and turned them into the police. Can you believe that? And you're apologizing, and the people that were actually kidnapped and shot are really not really great people either. I mean, the whole thing is just another one of those crappy stories where it doesn't matter. But anyways, if you guys would like to help, we've got a lot of help from the Canadians and Australians tonight. If you guys would like to help out, support the channel, like I explained it 1,000 times, I do these shows every single night. Helps keep me doing the show, and allows me to do our DNA Fund, Texas EquiSearch, RAIN, all of those organizations. Allows me to, sort of like a bulk thing. Like you guys support the channel, and then I'm able to donate thousands of dollars to these organizations. And I do. So that's the only way to make it work. So if you're American out there and you'd like to help, that's a joke. Because classical guitarist. Yeah, so you have that, and then we also have the well, it's one of those topics you don't want to bring up, but I brought it up millions of times before. But we have the issue with the transgender sports, which isn't really a crime thing, but it almost should be. I think all biological women out there that are okay with having biological males that are, claiming to be, or they are assigning themselves to be a female gender, you're really doing a disservice to your gender as a biological female. And the reason I'm saying that is because now the Olympics has approved powerlifting. I mean, one of the sports that takes the strongest people, they're allowing powerlifting transgender females. Are you kidding me? I mean, when will a biological woman ever win again? And then, I don't know what it was, but somebody just won an award on the International Women's Day. They won one of the great women, and it was it just makes no sense to me, guys. I'm sorry. I've said it 1,000 times, and here's what I think that transgender females should be able to compete in individual sports against women. However, when they win something, it's a different category. Okay? Team sports, you can't do it. But if it's individual, you should be able to compete, and therefore there can be a winner that's a biological female and then one that's transgender. Okay, I think that would be a way to do it. But in team sports, you can't really do that because you have too many. Then there would be too many people trying to stack teams and so forth like that. I really don't understand why there's this push for this. It's really ridiculous, everybody. And I know it offends some people out there because you're irrational when I say that. There is no rationality of any kind. I get the part where you say that they should be able to compete too. They shouldn't be punished because of them identifying a certain way, and I agree. I mean, they should be able to be whoever they want to be. I have nothing against somebody wanting to be transgender. But when you start affecting other people and their lives, then there's an issue there. Okay, biological females have worked really hard to, they're, they kick ass in all elements now. Sports is always going to be something different, though, right? Women will never, I can't say never because we don't know, but will never win the male 100-meter dash. I've always said that if a woman is good enough, though, let's say they go to the Olympic trials, remember Michelle Wie, for example? Remember her when she was 13? I still just can't believe it. When she was 13 years old, She played against the men in the Honda Open
I'll be back.
and missed the cut by one shot. I mean, she was awesome.
Will be minted with the ears as a Dumbo kind of thing, or if they are cramming it all into the original available space. So many questions. Embarrassed smiley face.
Yeah. Yeah, so Michelle Wie, she went and tried to qualify for the men's U.S. Open the right way, through the different tournaments, and made it all the way to the finals, and didn't make it to the U.S. Open. But it showed how good she was. Barring all the injuries that she had, she may have been able to play against men. She could drive the ball 300 yards. She was, 6 foot tall, was able to compete. And I think women should be able to compete with men if they have the ability to do so. Like, for example, in basketball, there's a point guard that's really quick and clever and a really good passer and shooter and can play against men and can do it. Then they should be able to be drafted and play on an NBA basketball team. But you shouldn't have a guy who's 6'5" and already, probably pretty good, and then one day goes, I think I feel like I'm transgender. And then they're going to play against the women and just absolutely dominate. It doesn't matter what hormones you take or any of that stuff like that. They're going to go in there and just dunk. Yeah, well, Michelle Wie, I mean, I couldn't believe it, how amazing she was. I used to I couldn't believe it. At 14 years old, she has PGA Tour men watching, just going, what in the hell? I mean, she was incredible. I mean, I think in the Honda Open in Hawaii, she shot like a 73, then a 69, and missed a cut by 1, something like that. And it's like, really, a 69 on a men's pro course with 7,000 something yards? I mean, it was unbelievable. And I totally am for that. I'm not for all this stuff. And you guys, you can't just sort of let it start happening where you're not having a voice and you're just going to let it, it's okay, I don't really care. Just because you're not an athlete or some other thing where it affects. Say something. All right, awesome. Great, well, that's all I had to say on that one. But the powerlifting thing, are you kidding me? Powerlifting?
Gray, you're so mean.
Oh. I don't think so. I think I'm just a rational thinker. Unfortunately, it always offends people, and I lose subs every time I talk about something like that. But I just don't give a damn, it's great. I lose subs all the time. Some days I get gain 40, lose 80. Next day I'll gain 30, lose 50. The next day I'll gain 40, lose 30, Unless I'm covering a big case, that there isn't these dramatic jumps, So it just is what it is. And it just sucks that it offends anybody. It shouldn't even offend a transgender person. Honest to God. They should understand what people are talking about. Now, if a transgender... It's kind of weird, too, the other direction. So if you have a female that is a transgender male, they're likely not going to have the ability to compete with the men unless they have steroids. And then all of a sudden, isn't that illegal that you'd have to take steroids to, so it's, they're in a really bad position. It's just the other way around. Thanks, Scouting Dude. Yeah, I'm just trying to make up for last night on here. Yeah, what is the Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs thing? It's just, that's such a... I thought of that the other day, too, and I was like, yeah, so what? That was great. I'm glad she beat the lowest ranked male player out there. That doesn't mean anything, though. But here's the thing, is I think if Billie Jean King joined the men's tour and at the time and was beating players and moved up See, I've always said this. Women should be able to compete at whatever level they have the ability to compete at. Men, on the other hand, shouldn't be able to go backwards. Does that make sense to you? Like, women should be able to compete in the Olympics with the men if they're good enough to do it. Swimming, anything like that, they should be able to do it. It should just be open swim for the main one, and then there should be women category.
For the strongest woman competition.
Because I know that there's women out there that are very strong and can compete in different things, but there's also men doing those same sports. Yeah, it shouldn't even it should just be common sense. Like, for example, I think the Olympics should be, the highest level should be open, and if you qualified, then you get to compete in it. Then there's also a female, I guess you could call it like women's sports, right? But then that's what I mean, it's biological women. The open one, maybe that's where everybody gets to compete, and if you make it, you make it. I like that solution right there. It just means you didn't qualify if you were... Yeah. And thank you, Taco Queen. Taco Queen. Well, did you get the taco to dance on the screen? I mean, you must love that one. Gotta get my music. Uh-oh. Come on. Ah, shit. I just shut down my control panel thing with YouTube. You know, it's funny, it's becoming a really big deal right now, that topic. And I've been talking about it for how many years on here? Maybe 3? And it just wasn't big at the time, but it should have been bigger earlier, and then it would have stopped all the madness. It's unbelievable. Makes no sense. And I think there's even a lot of liberals out there that agree with what I'm saying. They might not admit it publicly, but they do. Let's see. Well, I think everybody should absolutely... I think if you don't agree with what I'm saying, there's something wrong with you. You know, that's the truth. I don't mean to be rude or mean, but this isn't one of those topics where there's a rational other explanation. Okay? There is not. And... it's just, it is what it is. That means, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means that there's something, you're either not rational or you don't have common sense of some kind and are willing to just throw aside any sort of norm of any kind in society just for some crazy idealism. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? Kristen Russell? It's ridiculous. Women have worked too hard to achieve, to have it sort of taken over again by men. I mean, here we go. Isn't that wild, you guys? Like all of a sudden it's men again taking over. It's ridiculous. God. I don't know. It makes me just so angry. And it wouldn't even matter how you tried to explain it or try to nuance it. There isn't one. Okay? There is not a nuance to it. I don't know what that means. Must be a troll. Let's see. And that not even bringing up the locker room. Yeah. All right, so guess what? Now we have another thing to discuss, which is the Dylan rounds again. The parents spoke on East Idaho News today, and well, cool, Colleen. There you go. See, someone rational. They spoke on East Idaho News with Nate Eaton, and I asked him if I could play it, and he said I could, so we're going to play the interview. And so this is after the arrest they just made recently. You guys ready? So, here we go.
I'm Nate Eaton, and here in our studio
East
today we
Idaho
have Candace
News.
Cooley and Justin Rounds. You probably recognize them. They are Dylan Rounds' parents, who has been missing since Memorial Day weekend, and there's been a big break in the case just in the past few days. First of all, your reaction that James Brenner has been charged with murder in connection to your son's death.
Finally, that's our reaction. We've said it the whole time, and we have fought for it the whole time. And we've told you many a times there should be charges, there's enough evidence for charges. We've been so frustrated with that. So our reaction is finally, it's about time.
Was there any sense of surprise or shock, or was it more of good, let's get this going?
Yes,
Let's get it going.
let's get it going. We've known from the first day we were out there. We've just had to fight to get this far. So for us as a family and for Dylan, it is a huge win. This cannot be swept under the rug. This cannot go away now. It's out there, charges are filed, and we can start moving forward.
One of the things that surprised me in the probable cause document...
Oh, wait, by the way, I wanted to say one more thing. Is I don't have anything against people that are I have friends that are gay. I think I've had a couple friends that are transgender. I mean, it was hard to really, when you think back, you don't know. But I have, friends that have transgender children, and it doesn't bother me at all that they are who they are and what they want to do. I'm just trying to, protect the biological females of the world, or just make you think about it. Okay, so I want that known. I don't have anything against them. I've said it 1,000 times, but people seem to forget that when you're discussing it.
Document was that the prosecutor wrote that there was video of Brenner cleaning a gun as he had blood on his shirt and arms.
This is so crazy, this part.
I mean, that's pretty detailed.
Right.
And they believe that, I guess that was shot right after the crime. Do you have any further insight on that?
So we know Dylan was at the gate when he called Brenner. I think it was 6:57 or somewhere around there. So we know Dylan was at the gate to get in then. So then if you give it another 5 minutes, he's up at the shed, 7:02, 7:03.
Is this AM?
Yeah.
So after he called his grandma?
Yep. But he also called Brenner.
Called Brenner after that?
Yes, and we know he called Brenner. I mean, we know just because we know. We can't say because we weren't there, but we just know because to tell him he was coming in and needed in the gate. So the video was, I think, 7:27, and that video is from inside of Brenner's camper. It's not outside; it's in his camper.
So you're saying, within 30 minutes that morning, after the call to grandma, after I've got to get the grain in the shed, that he was likely killed?
Yep, everything happened within 32 minutes.
Any idea why?
Snap moment.
First time when I got there and the grain truck was there, Brenner was talking about how Dylan backed into his horse gate in the pen. He was a little frustrated about it. I didn't think a whole lot about it.
After the call to grandma, after I've got to get the grain in the shed, that he was likely killed?
Yep, everything happened within
30 minutes.
I mean, we know just because we know. We can't say because we weren't there, but we just know because to tell him he was coming in and needed in the gate. So the video was, I think, 7:27, and that video is from inside of Brenner's camper. It's not outside; it's in his camper.
So you're saying, within 30 minutes that morning, after the call to Grandma, after I've got to get the grain in the shed.
I mean, that is just unbelievable. So basically, he went and... Did you get the email? Oh, there goes my email again. Hey, Gray! Open your email! Basically, what it means is... so after Dylan in the morning called his grandmother, I think it was 6:50 something, and said, hey, I got to move the grain truck out of the rain, it was almost right after he got there that he was killed, because, you know, it takes a minute or two to be in a position where you're now cleaning off, right? So he would have driven there, been killed almost immediately upon arrival. Man, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That he was likely killed.
Yep, everything happened within like 32 minutes.
Any idea why?
Snap moment.
First time when I got there and the grain truck was there, Brenner was talking about how Dylan backed into his horse gate in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little frustrated about it. I didn't think a whole lot about it at the time, but that must have been it.
So, you're thinking that morning when he was putting in the truck, he may have hit the gate.
Or maybe, I guess. Or Jim backed it in and was just, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, we don't know if Dylan's the one who actually got the truck in the shed. We know Dylan is the one who got the truck to the property. Whether or not Brenner met him right outside because he was mad that Dylan came in, or whether Dylan backed it in and then it happened, but it was still all within.
Brenner's a dumbass, so maybe he backed it into the gate.
It's wild to me that they had that video there, because I guess you don't know, and it might come out of court, how that video was recorded. Was it recording that whole time?
No. So we, like I said, we clarified that. That was one of our huge questions. Is there more video that we don't know about?
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about. It was like, wow, what are the odds? How in the hell was that filmed?
And before the charges came out, we were working on a couple pleas. So we already knew the charges were coming. We knew, Brenner's pretty much told his defense attorney, I did this. There were some pleas offered that Justin and I declined. So Box Elder's prosecuting attorney, he said we needed to have every ounce of evidence in order to make a decision on a plea or not.
Who gives a damn what her hair looked like or anything like that, okay? This mom, this dad, they worked, tirelessly. Even if you didn't like her, everybody would want somebody like her if something happened to you doing something, okay? But try to focus on the actual important parts, not what her hair. Oh, look at her boots. Oh, they're fantastic. Are those?
And then we confirmed again that there's no other video. It's drove us crazy. How did that phone start recording? It has drove us crazy.
Well, Brenner must have his own vehicle, so he must have put Dylan in a vehicle, I would think, if he has one.
Well, I got thinking about it, so I had a couple old iPhone 8s at the house that I was saving for Dylan, because I always save the old ones. Your screen can be locked, and within one swipe, you have a video recording on the old software. So I'm pretty sure when Brenner took the phone, he just hit the wrong button, just hit the wrong swipe, and had no clue it would make it start recording.
But for even the
amazing.
The camera lens to even show that, it could have been.
It's just amazing, all of it. I can't even believe it.
It's unreal.
Like you said on one of your videos, a needle in a haystack. How?
Yeah.
So the other question that people have been asking is, all right, they've charged him with aggravated murder, but they don't have his body, Dylan's body. Are you more confident now that you might get an answer or that you might find him yourselves?
I'm more confident
we'll find him.
Without Brenner. I don't think he needs a plea deal. I don't think he needs any. I don't think he ever needs to get out. We're gonna find him. We're gonna go this when the snow's done. We'll find him. I'm positive of it.
Yep. Well, we're not the same people we were 9 months ago when we first sat down and talked. We were disorganized. We were terrified. We didn't have law enforcement helps. We didn't know who to turn for. We didn't know about all these elite groups. I mean, there's over 15 groups that have hundreds of people that are willing to come spend their summer in Lucin. We were out there running around just trying to
looking
find,
for the needle in the haystack.
looking for the needle in the haystack, just not knowing the different technologies, the different groups. And then we were getting a lot of, backlash from Box Hill. They're not letting people come in. Well, this summer it can't be that way. Charges are filed. They cannot tell organizations they can't come in.
Okay, so 7:30ish, he's cleaning the gun. The phone is found, Dylan's phone is found in the pond, which is then recovered, and they found this video. Do you think then that Dylan might be somewhere in the vicinity of the pond? Because how is James Brenner, I mean, I guess he could have taken him anywhere.
Well, but if you remember, and through our previous interviews, then the timelines match up, because then Dylan's phone, and I'd have to look back at my notes to be exact, leaves the shed property at 7:43 and goes to Dylan's farm. Then it comes back to the shed property like 30 minutes later. It stays there all day until it's thrown in the pond.
That evening.
Afternoon. Yeah, 2:51.
Afternoon.
So do you think his body's somewhere in that vicinity?
We think it was.
Yeah.
We think then, after everything happened, and there's some stuff that happened, we think he was moved.
Which is frustrating.
Very frustrating, because Brenner should have been in jail.
Brenner had warrants the day we went looking for Dylan before he was supposed to have been arrested. And he was just walking around with the police there and back and forth for numerous days.
Mm-hmm.
They even asked us to leave the property because we were upsetting Brenner. And this whole time he...
Hey, Lisa, can you just give it a rest? I mean, can you try to pay attention and, listen?
Had a warrant to be arrested. What was the warrant for? Do you remember?
Felony aggravated assault.
Felony warrant. And they asked us to move off the
Yep.
property.
Thanks,
to get
Caligal.
permission from the owner to be
Thanks, Caligal 3. I thought the button was broken there for a while. Thank you.
on.
And that's when you observed him moving the garbage from
Yeah.
the
Correct.
shed.
With the
Correct.
Box
Oh
Elder
my
Sheriff's
God, did you
Department
guys-
there
There.
at the same time watching the
It was-
same thing while he had a felony warrant. So,
Well, and it was one of the Box Elder sheriffs that actually went up to the property and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, spring cleaning."
yeah, you should see the shed in his place.
Yeah, I think you sent me
I
some
did,
photos after
yes.
the fact.
By the way, what is that thing? A trophy and a dog with a suit, samurai hat?
It was not.
No, spring
Cleaning.
cleaning.
I even hate to talk about it in the fact that we're talking about his body. It just feels.
Yeah.
It just feels morbid. I don't know how to describe it, but how does it feel as parents to know that?
This has been going on for 9 months, so we're, I don't want to say callous, but
Numb.
we've heard it a lot. We've talked a lot. I know when I heard about the video of him washing the blood off of his hands in the gun. To edit some of this stuff out, but it hit me hard. I got so I was so angry, and I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. And it was a long weekend. Talked a lot. I know when
I rewound it.
I heard about the video of him washing the blood off of his hands in the gun. To edit some of this stuff out.
Wow.
But it hit me hard. I got so I was so angry, and I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. And it was a long weekend.
Makes you wonder how long they've known about this. When they say, was it this last weekend, or hold on?
I don't want to say callous, but
Numb.
we've heard it a lot. We've talked a lot. I know when I heard about the video of him washing the blood off of his hands in the gun. To edit some of this stuff out. But it hit me hard. I got so I was so angry, and I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. And it was a long weekend.
Well, and
Because
so
it was a whole new thing.
Well, and the cold-heartedness to it. I think that's what really hit
Yeah.
us. The cold-heartedness of, I just shot this kid, I'm going to go clean myself up and then figure this out. I think that was the biggest shot. We always knew Brenner did something, but I think then we found out the cold-blooded aspect, and that was...
When I heard about the video, I was probably 10 feet away from where Dylan and Brenner were working in my shop the year previous, about this time, on the tarp of the grain truck. And I had a recording of Brenner.
Yeah, I remember there was
Don Hatley and the kid that worked for him.
People claimed he had a ton of money.
Dylan was gone, and I was watching the cameras through my phone, and Jim was talking, kind of jealous of Dylan and how he didn't treat his pickup good and this and that. And when he was a kid, he wouldn't have done that. And I remember telling Dylan, you know, this Jim guy, he ain't your friend. I mean, I didn't think that he would obviously do anything like this. And Dylan just kind of laughed and said, he's just kind of a jackass. That's just how the way he is, you know. And so it hit me hard, 10 feet away from where that conversation was, you know, and it was a hard weekend for me.
Well, and that leads us to something else, because in the press release that Box Elder released, in the article they had written, they put in quotes, family friend. Brenner was not a family friend.
He hung around with Dylan a little bit, and Dylan helped him have a job. In fact, when was it, 2 years before that when they had the pigs?
Yeah, I don't know. Remember there was something like he had $50,000 or $80,000 for buying grain or seed or whatever the hell it was. But we don't even know if it's true, so let's just quit talking about the $80,000, all right? All right.
Dylan had bought a bunch of pigs, and Brenner was kind of there helping him. And
this was all out at Lucin.
No, this is at my grandfather's place that we bought there by Climb. Here in Eastern Idaho, in Jefferson County.
Yeah, on county line.
Okay. So did he follow Dylan to Lucin?
No.
No.
Don Hatley moved him over to Lucin. He was in Nevada in Montello, and there was a whole bunch of bad stuff that went on that wasn't ever documented by the police department because they don't call them. And so then he moved over to Don's like, well, I got a place over here, you can stay. And then that's when he moved over. When Dylan originally was looking at that property, when he first started working on it, he wasn't there.
Brenner wasn't.
He was in Montello.
He was in Montello. He was not there.
But then he moved, when Dylan got settled in, he moved over.
Yep.
And you guys always had a bad feeling about Brenner.
I did. I didn't, well, I just never liked the guy. You know, Dylan was 18. I mean, I couldn't tell him, don't be around these people. I mean, I tried to tell him he wasn't his friend, but no, he was never a family friend at all. So that's, whoever put that doesn't know what they're saying.
What should happen to him if he's found guilty?
Well, right now he's facing the death penalty, and I think we'll end up pushing it the whole way. When we were,
I think so too. I don't want to do any pleas.
Presented with the plea, and we've said it publicly many times, you know, if we have to make a deal with the devil to get our son back, we'll do it. And then we were presented with it, and we couldn't do it. There's no way we're going to let that man walk in 5 or 10 years. It's not going to happen.
Did he say, I'll tell you where the body is? So he has said he knows.
Yeah.
And do you think that if you're patient, he'll tell?
I don't know. I
don't know.
truly don't know.
I hope not. I hope we find it, and I hope we can fry him as much as, you know.
Well, what do you want to say to the public that's been following this? And
people need to realize everybody wants to send Justin and I their condolences, their I'm sorries. We've known this for a long time. Like I said, this is a win. This is a win. Do not tell us you're sorry, because we've been fighting 9 months to have Brenner held accountable, and we finally got it done. That's not sad. I mean, the story and what happened is sad, but this is a win.
I appreciate everybody following us and doing this, because without all that, there's been millions of times that I've just thought I'm good with what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. She just kept pushing it, and thank God for that. But it's because of all the people support.
It is. Well, and that's how
I appreciate everybody.
That's how we got everything moved to the SBI. That's how everything started rolling, is when all of Dylan's followers and his newfound family started sending letters and phone calls, and just blew it up to the point that they knew they couldn't ignore it. And that's what got the momentum. So when I say this is a win for us, I mean, this is a win for everybody who helped us try to get the help that we needed. This is a win for all of us.
At the first, I never realized there could be so many bad people on the earth. And as time went on, I don't know, we both kind of got into a little depression for a little while. And as it went on, the people that were following and supporting kind of got us out of it and kind of got us going again, you know. And it's been, so what I want to say is thank you, I guess. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah.
Yeah, without everybody who started pushing so hard in August and September, I truly believe Box Elder would have backed off again.
I mean, she just absolutely hates Box Elder. I mean, it's just, I don't think there's any recovery there.
And knowing what they've known for as long as they've known.
But Box Elder got the FBI and the other individuals involved right away because they knew they couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I agree.
And still not out there trying to recover Dylan it's disgusting. They know he's out there. They know Brenner murdered him, and they've known for a long time, and still nothing.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Yes. Yeah, a lot no parent
you
ever
didn't want
wants
to learn,
yes.
but hopefully future families that might be in this awful circumstance can use what you've learned, and this is just the beginning of a whole new phase.
Yes.
As they say, the wheels of justice can go at a grinding, slow speed.
Well, the thing is like all true crime is miserable, right? Gummo. So, like every channel that is monetized is, I guess it's the way you do it, though. I mean, I cover cases, and but you guys all send in super chats and everything. But I try to give back a ton of money, so at least it makes a difference in the community somehow. It's just it's a genre that there's victims in it. I think it's the way you cover it, though. If you sensationalize things intentionally, like a lot of people do like they were doing in the Murdaugh case and in the Idaho 4 case now it's just turned into a weird cult thing. And all of them, Kylie Rodney, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But at least you have charges.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hopefully in a few weeks, months, you have Dylan.
Yeah.
We will.
And all the other families need to realize if you push, I mean, you can eventually get them to do what they swear to do. They swear to protect and serve. Make them do it. Don't let them scare you. Don't let them put you in the corner. Make them do it.
I don't think it's every law enforcement.
I
think
absolutely
we got
not.
lucky to have this one.
Yeah, and no, it absolutely isn't. There's tons of cases that are solved so fast like they should be.
I worked with a little bit of Bonneville County
Andy.
to get Dylan's pickup processed, and they were very quick on the spot to come and help and do whatever they needed to do. Yeah. Gave me some words of encouragement and then some advice, and we had the Idaho State Police do some stuff with that, and they were quick and very responsive. So, I mean, there's law enforcement, it's good in general.
Well, thank you both. I won't give my condolences because you said you don't want that, but in a way, it's condolences, congratulations, however you want to say it. Just know that people are thinking about you and care about this. And
I know you weren't talking about me, but you got to word things differently. You can't have a blanket statement out there that says, "Oh, people who cover tragedies and make," it's like you got to say it where you're referring back to the original comment, because then those can be taken out of
just
context.
The beginning, or not the beginning, but
it's a new beginning.
Yeah, new beginning. That's a good way to say it.
It's a new beginning. It's a new phase.
Yeah. Thank you, Candace and Justin.
Well, there you go. East Idaho News and Nate Eden. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to do my one last thing for the night. We had a really good start tonight, and then it just went. All right, so last night was really poor, so I was hoping this tonight would make up for a little bit of that because of the start we had, and then it just went. So if there's people out there that can afford, I don't want people that can't afford it, but if you can help support the channel, it allows us to keep doing all the stuff that we're doing. All right, we've got like Doohickey is almost responsible for a third of everything from tonight. Right, and also if you don't have this notebook right here, see this one, the Grant Hughes Investigates notebook, that's red. They're better quality too. I mean, they're really good ones. 80 pages. And you send 25 to PayPal, and you get the notebook. And if you send 30, you get the stress ball. But you get the notebook and 2 pens, and they're the freak pens. These ones right here. See that? There's a red and a black one that I stick into the spine or whatever you call that, the little spiral part. And the other one I put where there's a little strap for it. And the notebooks even have a little strap that keeps the notebook shut if you want it. Where is that? Yeah, right here. Let's see. See right there, that little strap that goes on there, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. Yeah, they're 80. They used to be 40 pages. Now they're 80 pages and thick and everything. Oh, cool, Aaron. Nice. Let's see. I see it last week, but I've been under the... Oh, well, hope you feel better, Mama. 457 Rose. Yeah. Alright, well, that was the Dylan Rounds thing. Now, the last part that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to work on my Moselle model. So I'm using Google Earth. There, I'll show you what I'm doing here. Let me go get my hot chocolate thing it's not really a hot chocolate. But the thing fell apart, so I wasn't able to... Well, it's spinning over there again, so I'm going to get up there in a minute. But what I did here was I made the... I don't know if you can even see it, but I used the daylight system again on here. And I brought in a map of the area, and I started building the airplane hangar deal. And the door was up, I think, that night. So this little door right here I didn't make it so it shuts because it doesn't matter. It was open. And then and the reason this right here is at an angle is because that's how it's easier to build stuff if it's not at an angle. So I've already finished this and then rotated it. And then I put these beams the correct distance apart based off of that document that was out there. And then it also tells you where the pigeon coop is based off of that. It actually measures things off of these posts here and a corner of the dog kennel. So I haven't made the dog kennel yet. Thanks, Scouting Dude. Jim Lawn, Dylan's mom, and Kaylee's dad are amazing people. how they can do these interviews on TV when their child was murdered. Yeah, well, I think Candace and them have,
Dylan's and Kale's dad are amazing people.
they knew what
How
happened
can
right
do these
away.
interviews on TV when their child was murdered.
I think 8675309 went back to making the Legos. She came in for a minute, now she's right back to those Legos again, man. Yeah, so I have the system here, and this is what it would have looked like basic at night. So let me just render this right here. I'll just show you through this camera right here. So it's about like that darkness, or the, you know, it would look like that, dark, and the sun still be able to hit something, but it's in the background. And you know, I think this looks pretty good. I didn't know how tall the buildings are. I kind of guessed like 8.5 feet at the end, and then it gets up to like 16 feet over here. I mean, it's sort of a guess, you know. And I know it's sort of after the fact, but I wanted to do this during the trial, but I had no time because every day I had to record the trial at 1.5 speed, and then edit everything out and play it for everybody. So now my hot chocolate's done, so I'm gonna go get it. So maybe somebody can go out there and find the day of trial where they had the doghouse on there, the doghouse that's right in this area, and I think it's maybe even right there, but where the doghouse was, and it actually has measuring tapes on it. I mean, I have tons of pictures of it, but if you can find it, let me know. Huh? Don't know what you're saying, Naven, man, but alright. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I thought at first that Alex maybe was killed second, because it would make more sense to have a quiet shot with the AR-15 and then do the shotgun. Like, Paul's in his shed and he's oblivious to it. That's what I meant. Did I say Paul? I thought Paul was killed first. I might have said Alex, now that I think about it. But anyways. God, the chat's just so dead these days. I don't know what's going on. It's like it just sits there. You guys usually are like, you have so much to say, it's almost mind-boggling. Yeah. That's what I always thought, but they don't seem to say it. I mean, it does sort of make sense. I think they think the shooting was at 8:53 or something. And those are what the steps are on Maggie's phone. I don't agree with that at all. I think at 8:53, the steps on Maggie's phone is Alec holding the phone and moving it and putting it onto that little cart or whatever you call it, ATV he's got there, and then drove it up to the house. I don't think that at 8:53 they were still alive. That's why none of them answered anything at 8:49 or 8:50 or 8:51 or 8:52 because they were already dead. I think they were killed very shortly after that video, within 3 or 4 minutes. That's why he was down there, in my opinion. Yeah, she had like 53 steps on it, something like that. All right, well, I want to make the doghouse right now. So if somebody can find the images that have a legible measuring tape on the doghouse, I've seen them from a distance, but I think at trial or somewhere they have those images. But I'm losing energy. I'm gonna have to put myself in prison to continue the rest of the show. Isn't that unfortunate? Where is it? Hey, look at that. It's Dana Dane. Been a long time. I don't know if anybody's looking them up or not. I have pictures of it. You know, like this one right here. Got that picture. I don't know. You have to go look it up, Patty. I have no idea. It was one of the days where they had the gunshot experts. I think it was their expert, the 5'3" one. You might find it on there. You haven't really looked very long though, have you, Katie? I can't find him. You spent 10 seconds. Jesus. Man, if I spent that much time on this show... Yeah, it seems like this is almost 4 feet tall. Maybe, yeah, because there's a lady standing in one of the shots that it looks big, and that's even with her forced perspective on it. This one right here. See, I don't know how tall she is, but let's just say she's 5 feet tall. She looks like she's probably pretty short. Well, this is using forced perspective, and she's barely taller than the thing. If you move her a couple feet forward, her head would probably be right here. So I'm guessing that's like 4 feet tall. And that kind of makes sense because that would make this about 8 or 9 feet tall there, and then maybe 8.5 here. All right. I'm putting the chat in jail. Where is it? There, is that it? Oh, maybe I haven't done that. Hold on, let me get the chat. There you go. You guys are in prison. All right. And once you guys get out of prison, we'll get back to the regularly scheduled program. And the reason you're in chat is in prison is because you... I can't find it, Gray. You spent 10 seconds. Oh, look at Kami Nielsen got me an energy apple. Hopefully you snuck in a key inside the apple. We'll have to see. If not, I can just do this stuff on the side anyways. Mm-hmm. That's right, Kimberly.
Go get it.
Ann.
Red apple for energy.
Yeah, you're always in prison, Jen. The chat's in there often. Why do you ask? Okay, but all I want you to do is send me something that actually has the measurement on it. Not something that it almost is that, but not really. Thank you, Don G. Oh, you did? Okay, you sent one? What's your name on there, Purity? Oh, sweet. There we go. That's perfect. Well, does it have the other side, though? That's just the side, though, right? I mean, what about... Well, I guess we can just guess at the other one. Man, we're going to be sitting here a long time, you guys. A long time. Hopefully, is there a way to zoom in on that, or... Okay. I guess it does have that right below it has the whole thing. Sweet. Yeah, that's not the one, Cindy. I already have that one. That has nothing to do with it. All right, you guys, maybe we'll just end it. But hey, I appreciate you guys being here, and I can do this stuff on the side. Hey, thank you for sending me the doghouse dimensions. We'll definitely be able to work on that one. I mean, you guys won't even bail yourselves out of prison. I mean, it was just a way to get we've just been absolutely dead the last hour and a half, so I figured I'd try something. Yeah, well, we're not out of prison yet, Cindy. We're just going to sit here. Yep, that's right. Well, thanks, Renergy. That'll be good bail then. All right, good. We'll get the hell out of here then. Oh, look at Blue. Poor guy. He looks so light. I think I just saw a picture of him when he was really young looking. You want the notebook too, Renergy? You want a notebook, Renergy? I can send you one. Yeah, you guys were just leaving yourselves in prison. It was amazing. Never seen anything like it. Thank you, Sheppy Mom. And I mean, the thing is, that's why we're able to do what we're doing over here, you guys. It's not like it's some sort of, you know, like I spent a lot of time doing the shows every single night. And then I've given $139,000 to charity over the last 3 years, since January of 2020. And that's because of you guys, right? So it's not like I'm sitting here, ooh. I mean, I could have remodeled my house for that.
I'll beat you back
You know?
if you want me to.
Unfortunately, it isn't how it works. Did Renergy answer about if they wanted a notebook? I'll just send one. Hopefully the address is right on there. Alright, I'm just going to be right here, and let me see. Where did I put that? Oh, shoot. Oh, there you go. I'll just save that. There we go. Crime scene images. Thanks, Susie Q. Reynolds. Alright, there it is. So this is the one that Sleuth something or other sent it to me. Right here. So it actually has the entire defect one. Oh, so that shows you the angle that it went in. So it went in at an angle from left to right on that one, and then this one is straight in, it looks like. Or at least maybe they don't know. This one exited. It says, well, it says interior, so it's defect outside, and then interior kind of went like at a side angle. Where do they have these? I bet you if I got a subscription on Fitz News, I could get that. Thank you, Lisa Valenzuela. And Susie Q. Alright, we'll be able to make this. It's gonna be sweet. Alright. You guys want to see how to do it? Here, I'm gonna shut these down and just have that one open. God, man, every time. Right there? Okay. So it looks like it's 36 inches in the back. So that makes that's 3 feet. And then there's, you know, the roof doesn't really look like that though, does it? Let me open up the reference drawing again. Yeah, I guess it is kind of thick like that. So it's 36 inches to the front is right there, I think. I don't think they're not measuring up here. It seems like they're right there. So, you know, this is probably 40 something. Thank you, Kimberly Ann. You know, I could make it look exactly like this thing with the images that are out there. Almost. I mean, I could. This might be kind of fun. Although I don't know what the top looks like. I don't know what this is up here. Are these just little... Alright, so it's 27. Yeah, so it is right to under the roof there. And then, yeah, it's 27 to underneath the roof right there. Alright, so... And 3.1 feet. So if we went out here... And let's just bring in... I think we need to make the side wall first. So we would just do something like... box. Put it right there for now. And okay, so we have that. And we need to make it... Let's see which one that is. That's that one. So that one will be 3 feet 9 inches. Alright, so here we go. 3 feet 9 inches. And then let's have the maximum height is it 30? No, it's the width. So the width is probably going to be, we'll just say an inch. That's probably too thick even. I'd say a half. Let's do 3/4. Then the height is going to be, let's type in 33 feet. Oh, it's 3 feet 6 inches. So that's all. It's not 36 inches. That means it's, I was almost right. It's, I think it is about 4 feet tall, given adding the roof to it. And aren't you happy that I said roof for the first time in my life? And I've been able to say months. You know, I'm really working on it, guys. Thank you. Oh, you already got one? Oh, you just got it. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome, Renergy. Yes, they're pretty good, aren't they? Good quality, thick. They don't. The other one wasn't as good that I had before. I didn't realize that there was another level that you could get. All right, 36. So let's make it. So it's 3 feet 6 inches, right there. Just a second. Not sure what is this? What's going on here? Oh. There's a freaks. That was the PayPal that you guys sent. Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you guys for bailing yourselves out after the fact. That's awesome. All right, 3 feet 6 inches. And wow, so it's going to be kind of weird because here's what I'll do. This one will be 20, what was it again? Let me get that. 2 feet 7 inches. Two feet 7 inches. I'm just going to put it right next to it over here because it's hard to do objects that are off like that. But now I know so that's right on the ground, and this end here, I'm just going to make it match that side there, and it'll be really close to. So this is, let's just make sure, 2 feet 7 inches. This one is 3 feet 6 inches. And then I'm going to convert this to an editable polygon with the vertices. Now I can grab that one and drag it down right to, I'm just going to make it go right to that one, just like that. So that should be exactly, or really close to, anyways, 2 feet 7 inches. Then hit the shift key, drag over, and there's a copy of it. That would be the other side. And the distance measurements, front, back, height, front, one, oh, they're talking about the defect. See, my problem is I don't know how wide this thing is. You know? Okay. So we'll just say it's about the same. You know, maybe it's 3 feet from here to here. Not 3 feet 9. It's going to be 3 feet 6 again. Three feet 6. And it's there you go. And then add, so this one has a dog house in it. So add geometry, as they say. Okay. And then what did that look like? Oh yeah, perfect. Huh, I wonder if, were they really using wood that thick? Man, that's crazy. So I guess I can make that thicker. If that's right. Unless it was just made to look like that. But but that would make it way longer than it's supposed to be. Just needs to be. Actually, I'm gonna do this differently. Hold on. gonna do this thing called slice here. Like that. So we'll slice plane here. There we go. Right there. That's a better way. Does it have a ground in it? The shed, or does it just go on? Is it like a roof on the ground? I didn't even look. Do you think there's a board under? Probably a board underneath there. Sweet. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Nomad Beats. I already found the... Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, there we go. I know that's not the correct size, but I'm going to make it fit in a second. Yeah, I'll just figure it out, Nomad Beats. Don't worry about that kind of... I'm just going to put a texture on it. I mean, just saying it looks like something doesn't help. You gotta... It's either it is or it isn't. You know what I mean? It's probably a little taller, higher. now I'm going to have to widen those back out again a little bit. Yeah, that almost seems halfway up. Yeah, I guess that makes it look, if that hay wasn't there, you'd see it look like a taller rectangle. For sure. Because that would go out about like to there, and then that would come across. Yeah. Sweet. And then the other side, I'm gonna have to do something similar that I just did. Ah, God. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just trying to figure this out. Ah, crap. There it is. What's it doing? Sure what's going on now. Oh, I edit a sub object. So I actually have fun doing this stuff. You know, a little quicker when I'm doing it by myself. That makes me nervous for some reason. Not nervous, but just... I guess it'd be like painting at home or with an audience instead of just for fun. Awesome. And what does the dimension say? 3.6 by 3.9. And then it has it 2 feet 10. So I think I need to make it a little bit wider. And now it's 3 feet 1. That's probably about right. What do you think? It's the doghouse. We're making the whole thing. Look. Okay. Oops. So right now, if I'm trying to rotate around it, it screws up. But if you hit the Z key when you're on an object, then you can, now it works again. Sometimes it gets messed up. So I got this open space because I got rid of the polygon that was right there. So what you do is you click on the object, go to polygon, and you go to the create, and then you have to hit on, use one of these snaps right here, and see how it kind of makes that little, right when you go to it, it has a plus symbol on it. So if you go right there, and then there's one that you can't see, but see how it made that little green plus that you can see, click on that, and then go to here, here, and there, and then boom, it puts it back in. Then this side, you go boom, boom, up here, and then you can kind of visualize out that it's likely right there. And then this one's down there. And this one's going to be hard, so I'm going to probably move this up in the air on this one. Oops. Man, I can barely see that. Yeah. I got it way up in the air because I didn't give myself space. There we go. There we go. Yeah, probably just have to put the top on it now. Those look like, that's probably, I mean, that can't be 4 inches. So that's got to be like a 2 by 8. Or, I mean, it looks small, but it's not, because this is, if this is 3 feet 6 in here, I mean, that would make that a foot. I guess that could be, I think that's 6 inches, right? So if that was 4, then it'd be 8, 12, and then 2 of those would hit the ground. That'd be, I could see that being 6 inches, like 2 by 6 up on that. And that's actually an extended height on it. And the roof, I don't know what it looks like unless I have, I think I might have another shot of that. Anybody have an image of the top of that shed? I have that. Looks like it's just ground under there with a blanket. Oh wait, no, I think I do have something. Hold on. I recorded a video today that is the Pharaoh scan. So I wish I had if I had the Pharaoh scan, I'd have the perfect image, but it was also done way later, so. Oh, that's it. Look how crazy this thing is, man. If you could just get the... I mean, it's tough. I think these take up massive amounts of memory. But I don't know if you can convert it or not. So look at that's a good way to be able to figure out what the bird cage looks like. Oh, there it is, right there. All right. Oh, that was sweet. It did have it in there. I'm not sure what this thing is. It looks like a massive dragonfly. Look at that. I was like, what is that thing? It's crazy. What? I mean, does anybody know what that is? Right there. I mean, it does look like a bee of some sort, like a toy bee, maybe, or. Yeah, they literally... Why do they waste time making it like that? So they literally cut in and had it dropping down on each... And so what did the other shot look like? I don't know if I'm going to take the time to make a roof that looks like that on it. I'm just going to put a... I mean, if it was for like a movie or something, sure, you know. It's not. It almost looks like it breathes on the top somehow. It's hard to make out what they're doing there. Yeah, maybe I'll just have the music playing over and over again. There we go. First time I hit the save button. Nice. And everything in here is to scale. So for example, when I was doing it, I saved the image off of Google Earth, and then I took the image of it and put it right here, but I measured it on using Google Earth. So if you go to Google Earth and you go to, I think this might be right over here, like right here, and choose a different one, perhaps like right here, this one. Thank you, Quietly Frozen, with the Dadio Caspian Horses Rock image. Yeah, so up here there's a measuring tool, and that part there is a shadow, so you could go about right here and to right there, and it's about 127 feet long, right? So you know that, and it seems to have 5, like 1, 2, 6 actually, 3, 4, 5, 6 little segments, and the middle one is raised and the other one's sloped down gradually. So you know it's 127 feet long by, and then you can measure from one of these. That's generally usually, straight down, so you're only off by a little bit. And it's about 45, 46 feet long. And so that's what I used, and that's how large that is. Then I put the cement down there, and then the roof and everything. I don't know if I'm going to put a texture on it or anything like that. Not sure. But this is where we're at now. And so everything we have in here is the correct size. Board in the back there, take that one. always make faces when I'm doing this stuff. You know, that room is tiny. The room where Paul was shot in. Gal 3. Ah, you guys are made the night well, better than the last one, and you know, not too bad. So thank you. Yeah, let me get something else. What do we got in here? Not that one. How about... There we go. That's how it looks on there. So. almost have it with me. Must be at a little bit of an angle. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. How about that, freaks? There it is. Can I get a boom? Yeah, well, that now can be put into place. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, this is all. I had to guess at these heights, but I think it's sort of close. I mean, the height of this doesn't really matter that much. And I've got all the. It's about what it looks like in there. And I guess next would be the chicken coop, or not the chicken coop. I know chicken coop isn't really that important, but the little bird cage back there. Yeah, so some of the stuff that's interesting is, yeah, so they have it 23 feet 9 inches from this post right here to the one right here. So let's see if that's close. Let's see what we got. Close. I think it's right in the ballpark there, 23.9 inches. And then from that post, 23. Let me. 23.8 inches to the birdcage right against the wall from this post right there. So if you go, well, there you go. That's where and that makes sense. Right there is where the corner of the pigeon cage, or whatever you call it back there. Anybody have the size measurements of the pigeon cage? Or whatever the hell you call that? Oh, somebody already sent it to me. Sleuthin sent it. Alright. Which is pretty funny. Alright. So that's where the cage goes. Yes, let me check my notes. No. Well, thanks for spending a lot of time checking, Zozo. Wait, are those the bird? Wait, hold on. Is this? That's the bird cage? That's not the one inside the garage, is it? I mean, underneath the... I think it is. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so here's what I just got sent. That's the bird cage inside. You can't hear me? What do you mean you can't hear me? Okay, I can turn it down a little bit. Well, you notice it was 2 non-channel members bitching about whether they could hear me or not. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, anyways, let's see. What do we got here? This is the... Let's see what it looks like again on the video here. I don't think they're trolls, but it's just kind of funny. Okay, so it's on a stand, too. Doesn't really say how high it is off the ground, though, does it? This is a pretty good reference here. I mean, this... And that bullet hole's right over here. And I think it's absolutely correct how this is. I got this set up. And they measure it right to the corner there. Exterior side wall. Oh, it does have it right here. It's 5 feet 8 inches off the ground from top to ground. Okay, good. So it does have that. 18 feet 3 inches to front of workshop. Let's see how close I have that. Damn close. Except I'm not sure when they say front of the shop, what does that mean? Well, actually, this would be... 87 degrees, horizontal 41. Yeah? Huh? So it looks like it's 2 feet 6 inches by 23 inches. Jeez. Does it say how long this is, though? It doesn't seem to do that. Angle, it's angle deflect. In front of workshop. Like, what does that actually mean? Well, I can do this stuff later. I mean, this is this is the part that matters right here. This can be, you know, I could eyeball it and figure it out. The part that matters is right here. Interior sidewall. That's 25, should always be the same. So what is this thing? Why is that different? Exterior sidewall. Interior sidewall, back wall. So that's the back one, I see. So it's measuring this one. Alright, there's a hole there. Yeah, there's the defect. So it's measuring, oh yeah, I see. So this one and then the inner part of it, and then the bullet also going through the back right there. Okay, that makes sense. I get it. I get what they're saying. So I guess what you could do, and then the other one also has the bullet defect location. So I might have to try to put some textures on all of those. Why do you keep typing in numbers like that, Nomad Beads? You don't have any idea what it is. It doesn't say that anywhere. You just keep typing stuff in. If it said it on the document, I would believe what you said, but it doesn't say that on there. just type in, here's my rough guess. 2 by 2 by 5. I mean, I can come up with numbers myself, yeah. I mean, I know that it's, if this is the side wall, and that's the side wall, and this should be the side wall, so I think it's interesting that that's 3 feet, but this one is 1 feet 7 inches. So the outer wall, they only have 1 feet, not 1 feet, excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, 2 feet 7 inches, and this was 3 feet on the exterior sidewall. So I guess that kind of makes sense. This is the interior sidewall. Well, you didn't say, yeah, okay. What do you mean you're speaking from experience? What do you mean? You just happen to be, you build chicken coops? Come on. Wow. Yeah, we just had snow yesterday. It snowed a little bit. It didn't stick or anything, but it was weird. Don't normally get snow. I know I was feeling sort of down today, and I just realized today's the day it was my brother's birthday, the one that passed away in 1986. March 9th. Yeah, but that doesn't make any difference, Nomad Beats, that you work for a construction company. Did you build bird cages? Yeah, so right here, this one says 3 feet on the exterior wall and the interior wall, so it's got to be 3 feet, right? Nomad Beats, since that says 3 feet right there. 1 foot 4 inches and then 1 foot 8 inches. What is this thing right here, though? Exterior sidewall, and then 1.7. This is ridiculous. Exterior sidewall of wood shop. Oh, I see. So it's 3 inches from the wall, too. Yeah, so it's 3 inches off the wall, and this line here is 4 inches from the actual side of the feeder, and then 1.8, so it's 3 feet. The interior wall is 3 feet less than that, so not really sure how they're working that. It seems to me like it would be the exact same size. You see what I'm saying? Like this says it's 2 feet 7 inches on the interior wall of the same wall here. The side wall. Interior side wall. So it makes you think that they've got some, I don't know. Can't figure that out. Well, but it can't be Nomad Beads. I just explained to you. It says 1 foot 4 inches and 1 foot 8 inches. That's 3 feet. Do you agree with that? Are you disagreeing with what they put? I mean, I appreciate you guessing, but yeah, I mean, you can guess all day long, but why don't you guess based on the numbers on the screen where it says 3 feet right there? Have you tried doing that? So given that, you know that's 3 feet. How long do you think this is? Because that's the one that doesn't have the number. I have the dimensions of this wall and probably that one over there. I'm just not sure why you're disagreeing and saying you're right on 2 feet when it says 3 right there on the screen. That one might work. Oh, I bet I know what it is. On the outside, it's just kind of an outer casing, and on the inside, it's got the wood or something. Right? Okay, but I've been showing it to you for a while, Nomad Beats. Even after I told you it was there, you said the same thing. So... ... thanks, Purity. But your 5 feet might be, well, it might be right. Because it's pretty deep, but, you know, 5 feet could be pretty good. We'll use that. Okay, well I'll build it. I'm gonna do some. I'll try to do some tomorrow, and then I'll show you where I'm at. This one right here, believe it or not, that's the size of the actual seed room. It's crazy. Look at that. It's tiny. And so this will end up being right over here, but I have to you have to build it where it's perpendicular to the screen, and then you rotate it after you're finished, just like I did with the dog house right there. Yeah. And so we'll get that set up, and I don't know if I'm going to make the bird or the chicken coop over here or not. Doesn't seem very relevant to anything, although he did say put a chicken in there. You know what's interesting, when you look where Alec parked his vehicle, it's not even close. I mean, it's close to them, but it's not right next to them. So for him to do all that in 20 seconds makes it even more ridiculous. Nomad Beads is probably mad at me, but I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying I don't know. I want to know the exact numbers. You know. And so maybe I don't have any, it's not relevant how long the bird cage is, because it's where the angle, all they cared about was where was the plane where the bullet went in. And so that's why they didn't put the measurements in there. Now the dog kennel is relevant because the bullet passes through the back side of it. Yeah, add a chicken coop. Huh? Yeah, I'll put a chicken coop in there. Bubba! Yeah, it's interesting looking how they measure things. So they use this post right there and measure, and then here they're saying the front of there is, I can't remember what they said, 18 feet something. And they have one of her hands under and the other one out. Yeah, we'll get it all figured out. Yep. Alright. Oh, my live stream over here is way behind. So thank you to Pepper Smith. Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. Amber Maiden. Dan Hoodmaker, I think. Kami, Mama 457 Rose. Doohickey with a double cat eye, thank yous. Kathy Friedenmaker, classical guitarist, double cat eye. Danielle, Caligal 3, Carly S, 8675309. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, rolling on the floor laughing, but not laughing about the case. Nomad Beads, Eugenie, Candalee Woodward Stone, WNC Granny, Danielle, Doohickey, Quietly Frozen, Doohickey, Scoutin' Dude, Don G, Doohickey, and it just shot way down there. Quietly Frozen, Doohickey, I think it's a Quietly Frozen Doohickey, Scoutin' Dude, Don G, Doohickey, Scoutin' Dude, Taco Queen, Cali Gal 3, Scoutin' Dude, Jim Lon, Kami Nielsen, Don G, Sheppy's Mom, Renee H, Susie Q Reynolds, Lisa Valenzuela, Kimberly Lynn, Caligal 3, Quietly Frozen, Caligal 3, and Mickey Duff. Then we had Brenner and Patty on PayPal. Patty got a notebook. The motive is clear. Yeah, I don't know why anybody's confused about the motive. I mean, I don't know. Is Joey just trolling or what's he doing? It's been really obvious. We've talked about it so many times. Let's see. I think it's really, the housekeeper one is simple. I think the housekeeper is absolutely obvious. That he would kill her and he wanted to get the $4.5 million. He had it all planned out. He knew exactly what he was going to do. Yeah, it's simple. It's not a confusing case. People who can't see motive and things, they're trying hard not to see one. It's really obvious. It's not difficult, not even questionable or something to think extra hard about. Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time. The Gloria Satterfield case always seemed like, wow, he probably did something to her. After he stole all the money from the kids, it seemed almost certain. And now, listening to the 911 call and the discrepancies and so forth, man, I think it's almost certain that he killed, somehow is responsible for the death of Gloria Satterfield. Anything? Yep, that's what I thought. All right, you guys, we're going to do a spin for a notebook tonight again. See who wins the lucky notebook. Yeah, I know you keep saying that, Joey. It happens all the time, though. Look it up. It's really simple. It's nothing weird about it. It's not just insane. It happens all the time. It's literally very common, to be honest with you. All right, let's do the... We've even talked about it like 100 times. Man, it's crazy. Let's see. Let me get the wheel going. Yeah, I think it's exactly what a family annihilator is. We did a show on it where we read about family annihilators, and he fits exactly. Well, it wasn't a whole show; it was just a little segment there. He did exactly what they do. It's usually financial related. Yeah, it's hard to relate to, obviously, because you're not a killer, right, Joey? But it's not unusual or strange. It's literally happens all the time. All right, here we go. Here comes the spin for the notebook. You rewound in an hour? Annihilator. Yeah. There it is. Doohickey wins. Oh man, that's all the way to Australia. That'll set you back. But you deserve one, Doohickey. You deserve one. Send me your address, Doohickey. We'll be sending you the notebook. Well, they love themselves more than their family. That's what I think. Yeah, I think if their attorneys make it seem like they were encouraging him to testify. Which is bizarre. They thought, well, they already made him look so bad he needed to. No. No, he still had a shot. You know, he had no shot after he testified. He was one of the worst. You know, he made Jodi Arias look good. I mean, he was terrible. Thank you, Natalie Bell. All right, you guys. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thanks for bailing yourselves out of prison. Thanks for supporting the channel. We got to keep on trucking. We had good news today that the Addison County doe is in the sequencer. Like literally spinning around right as we speak. Let me see. Did she ever respond to that? Yeah, somebody just emailed me and said, here. Somebody emailed me just a second ago and said, my nephew is a bio female, is trans, and he agrees with you. I do too. We also have brainstormed and came up with idea of transgender events. Yeah, but I mean, I think for individual events, they should be able to compete with the women, but the prize at the end is different. So let's say you are doing the 100-meter dash, and there's transgender women, and I think you need to have extra slots open for the whole competition because you shouldn't ever remove like biological females. Let's say in the Olympics there's 40 spots open for athletes. Well, then they need to make like 42, or not 42, like 50. 10 for the transgender women and the same 40 that get to compete. And then they compete, and then there's the finals can have transgender in it, and if the transgender I'm not sure how you do it. It would have to be like the finals would be. You have to do it in a way where there's still 8 biological females in the final sprint, as well as, and I mean, almost like you'd have to do 2 races or run separately, and it's just the time that you're using. Not really sure how to do that part, but you can't take slots away. That's the problem. People that work their whole lives, and it gets taken away. It just doesn't make any sense, and I wish people just realize that instead of trying to be morally superior or trying to be, what is it? What's it called? When they try to virtue signaling. It's ridiculous, you guys. I think it'd be great if they should be able to compete in single sports, not in team sports, because then you're taking a position away from somebody. But in single sports, they can run against them, but at the end, there's a champion that's the biological female, and then there's a champion that's the transgender female that was competing too. Doesn't that make sense to everybody? I mean, I don't know how that would make somebody feel bad. Because let's say they could compete against other transgender females, and they would be the champion of all of them, and and the whole female category, I guess. But at the same time, you can't take positions and spots away. And there should be 2 gold medals for the female. There should be one. If the transgender wins, then you get one for the transgender female, and then a gold medal for the biological female. That's the only thing that seems right to me. I hope that seems logical and makes sense to everybody. What is it? Well, because they think that is being... I know it would solve the problem, Zozo, but they think that would be called... that'd be discrimination somehow. I totally think that's how they should do it. They should just have, men's, women, and transgender categories, right? I mean, that's the right way to do it, where it would be absolutely everything separated. But see, that's the part that they don't want, is having it be separated, right? Anyways, it's not, to me, it's not really complicated, other than just trying to figure out how to give a place where they can compete, right? That part's where it's complicated. Where do they compete at? Individual sports, it's a little easier for me. It's just sort of, you create 2 different winners if they win. I mean, if there happens to be 3 Florence Griffin joiners in there running, then, who knows? They might win anyways. Yeah, but I mean, it's just the whole thing about strength and all that. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We will see you guys tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have some more done on there. And hopefully Nomad Beats doesn't hate my guts. I was just I thought she had the actual numbers, and then I was telling her it was 3 feet, and then she thought it was 2 feet. And then I was like, no, it says right there. Well, there's that time where she can raise her hand and say, yes, Gray pissed me off that one time. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person. Hey, good luck, Jelly. That is a crime dissector. What kind of music do you play, Joey? I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'll meet a little specker with a vector on his pecker. With all respect, just remember I've a temper fucking checker. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you. Cool, Jelly, cool.
Good night, everybody. I want to run too, Gray.
Well, get in there. Start competing, Mary Lou.
Okay, I will. What am I in?
You're in the digital category.
What does that mean?
Well, have you ever ran down a track before?
Well, I have in my mind, Grant. Yay! Doesn't that count for something?
Yes, you are. You're a champion, Mary Lou. You're a champion.
Thanks, Gray. Wow.
All right. See you later.